Unfortunately, his major fights were against fighters who were over the hill. Joe Walcott twice, Ezra Charles twice, Archie Moore once, and Charles and Moore were better light heavyweights than heavyweights. But he was a good fighter, a terrific fighter.
After Marciano had retired, that pretty much left the spotlight to a guy by the name of Ray Robinson, who almost single-handedly took care of all the lower weights. In 1957, at the age of 36, Robinson stepped into the ring as the middleweight title holder against a very tough customer from Utah by the name of Gene Fullmer. Fullmer came into that fight with a 37-3 record, and more importantly, had never so much as been knocked down.
January 2nd, 1957. Middleweight champion Sugar Ray Robinson took on a hungry 25-year-old native of Utah, Gene Fullmer. The challenger had never been knocked down, and he was upset over a 3-week postponement by Sugar Ray due to a virus. Sugar Ray Robinson was a boxer without peer in his era. He had captured the public's imagination, and he reaped the financial rewards. Sugar Ray would receive $140,000 for this battle with Gene Fullmer. He insisted on the challenger's take of $20,000. Fullmer was a very bitter man.
In round 6, Robinson, in white, is involved in a rare rough-and-tumble title fight. Fullmer is throwing everything at Ray but the referee. Robinson is wrestled out of the ring. Referee Ruby Goldstein wipes Ray's glove. It looks as if Ray's in for a long, tough evening. Here in round 15, champion Robinson is tired and bloody. Fullmer's constant rough and bullying tactics have worn Ray completely down. At the end of the round, there's a new world middleweight champion.
Gene Fullmer had won by unanimous decision. Even though the experts gave the fight to Fullmer, many observers rode the crest of public sentiment and awaited the return of Sugar Ray Robinson. 4 months later, Gene Fullmer was made a 3-1 favorite to defeat Sugar Ray Robinson. No one had ever beaten Sugar Ray a second time, but at the age of 37, few people gave the ex-champion a chance in his quest to win the middleweight crown for the 4th time.
It's 4 months later. Robinson, the challenger, is in white trunks, and this is a classic bridge fight. Champion Gene Fullmer is ahead on points here in the 5th round. Timed ripping left hook by Robinson. That crushing punch was delivered like a bolt of lightning. Fullmer is knocked out for the first time in his career.
When Gene Fullmer rose from the canvas, he wearily asked his manager why the fight was stopped. Robinson's picture-perfect left hook not only knocked the sense out of Fullmer, it also aroused a nation delirious over his celebrated comeback. In his locker room after the fight, welterweight champion Carmen Basilio challenged Sugar Ray for the title he had won for the 4th time. September 23rd, 1957, Sugar Ray demanded that Basilio surrender 5% of his purse. Sugar Ray went on strike for 9 days, insisting on a $255,000 TV guarantee. Basilio called Robinson an arrogant and greedy man.
Middleweight champion Ray Robinson, in white trunks, is after the smaller Basilio here in round 11. Robinson is throwing everything at Basilio as Ray pulls out all the stops, looking for a knockout. But Carmen comes right back bombing. Basilio has taken Ray's best shot and is now getting in there with his own big artillery. Carmen is coming on strong here in round 11. Ray looks helpless. But unbelievably, Robinson is coming back. What a great round. Here in the 15th and final round, both men are all but spent. This has been an absolutely magnificent fight, and it's very close. Both men congratulate each other.
Carmen Basilio was given a split decision and proclaimed middleweight champion of the world. Immediately, there was talk of a rematch. Sugar Ray Robinson awaited the ultimate challenge. March 25th, 1958, Carmen Basilio was favored over a 37-year-old ex-champion trying to recapture the middleweight title for the 5th time. Sugar Ray Robinson was in store for the fight of his life, and 18,000 fans in Chicago Stadium were treated to one of the most memorable battles in boxing history.
Middleweight champion Carmen Basilio in black trunks has been pressing the fight, but here in round 10, Carmen's left eye is almost closed. Both men throwing ripping punches, but look at that eye of Basilio. A great combination by Ray. Robinson wants that middleweight championship back for a record 5th time. Ray seems extra sharp here in round 11. Ray knows he's ahead and he wants to build on that lead. Champion Carmen Basilio can't see properly. Carmen's left eye has taken a terrible battering, but Basilio is still in there bombing. Both men looking for an opening. There's no let-up between these two old-time greats. Robinson is putting on a dazzling display of punches. Basilio has never let up. Now Carmen's eye is completely shut, and he's in there fighting on courage alone. It's all Robinson here in the 15th and final round. Robinson going after Basilio. Just look at Carmen's battered face. There's the end of this grueling championship fight.
Sugar Ray Robinson was awarded a split decision in a courageous performance by both fighters. Robinson was helped out of the arena, and Basilio was taken directly to the hospital. Sugar Ray Robinson accomplished what no man had before or since. He was middleweight champion of the world for the 5th time.
On December 10th, 1965, Sugar Ray Robinson hung up the gloves for the final time after 25 years and 201 professional fights. And Larry, I think it's safe to say he ducked no one, took no prisoners.
Well, he had a long-running series with Jake LaMotta when nobody else would fight Jake LaMotta even once. And I think his series with Basilio could be classified as a grudge fight, because Robinson, particularly late in his career, was a very tough negotiator. He'd call up the promoter a week before the fight and say, if I don't get more money, I'm not going through with the fight. They'd take it out of the other fighter's purse. So Basilio wasn't too pleased with Robinson's tactics there.
Was he, in your opinion, in fact, the greatest fighter pound for pound?
I think he has to be judged that. Let me put it this way. Roberto Duran, as great a lightweight as ever lived, when he moved up to welterweight, he couldn't knock anybody down, much less out. When Emil Griffith and Basilio moved up from welterweight to middleweight, they were still good fighters, but they weren't overpowering fighters. Robinson went from welterweight to middleweight, and we just saw he knocked the man out with one punch.
And while he ruled the middleweight division, a fellow by the name of Floyd Patterson ruled the heavyweight division. It was the first fight in 1959 since 1946 that had a $100 price on a ringside seat. It was the first of 3 grudge matches with Ingemar Johansson.
Heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson was a heavy favorite over Sweden's Ingemar Johansson on June 26, 1959, before 22,000 fans in Yankee Stadium. The challenger pulled off one of the greatest upsets in heavyweight history.
Underdog challenger Ingemar Johansson paused awkwardly with his left, then shoots a sharp right to the chin of heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson. Patterson is down. He is hurt. point out that Johansson used the same thunder right to take out Eddie Machen 7 months prior to this fight. That powerful right-hand punch didn't knock Patterson out, but it was the single blow that sent him ultimately to defeat. Swedish and European champion Johansson hits Patterson with everything. Patterson tries to fight back, tries to stay low and inside, tries desperately to hold on to his championship. But Johansson has the game, Floyd Patterson, and Johansson knows it.
Floyd Patterson was sent to the canvas 7 times, and the fight was stopped at 57 seconds of the 3rd round. It was a brutal display of punishment, and shockingly, Ingemar Johansson was the new heavyweight champion of the world. Luckily, Floyd Patterson was guaranteed a 90-day return match from a clause in the contract. When promoter Bill Rosenson was put under investigation for faulty business practices, the second fight had to be postponed. 1 year later, with a new promoter, Irving Cohn, the fight was made. June 20th, 1960. Floyd Patterson was in the role of the underdog in a $2 million extravaganza. The soft-spoken Patterson resented the flamboyant Swedish champion and desperately wanted to regain his dignity and the heavyweight title.
Challenger Floyd Patterson takes on heavyweight champion Ingemar Johansson. Patterson goes to work early, working with sharp hooks to the body and the head. Johansson trying to measure his man with his lethal right hand, but Patterson constantly moves to his right, away from Johansson's payoff punch. Now it's Patterson with a sharp left hook, and Johansson is down. He's hurt. Referee Artie McCanty picks up the count. The champion Johansson here in round 5 tries to clear the cobwebs, but Patterson won't be denied. He remembers that Johansson knocked him out in 3 rounds in June of 1959. He wants to make history tonight. Patterson throws caution to the wind and pummels the big Swede with lefts and rights to the body and head, and then back to the body. Johansson is always dangerous, but is plainly hurt. He tries to hold on. Patterson is trying to coordinate his attack, waiting for the big opening. Patterson fakes to the body and lets go with a tremendous left hook. And if you look closely, Johansson's right foot quivers from the force of the blow.
Floyd Patterson became the first man in history to regain the heavyweight championship. Few people will ever forget the fury behind his punches. After such a humiliating defeat, this magnificent comeback was a courageous display of talent and pride.
After the last fight, there was some who said that Floyd Patterson was an overrated champion. Now, in view of last night's fight, does Floyd Patterson think that Johansson may have been an overrated champion?
Definitely not. I wouldn't say so. Even if he was, I would never say anything derogatory about any fighter, being a fighter myself. But I definitely don't say that he was overrated.
Was the punch that